Hey, girl. Hey, and live from Cary, North Carolina.
Yes, carry on my wayward drag queen.
Last week I was in Bristol, Pennsylvania. This week I am back to home in Raleighwood, North Carolina.
Back again, y'all. Back
again. Yeah.
And death drop.
Bam! No, every time I think of that, I think of the Black Girls Comedy Group. What is that? The TV show on HBO?
Oh, what is the name of their show?
Black Girl Sketch Show or something like that.
It's like something like a Black Girl Sketch Comedy or something like that.
Well, and they did this one with like normal people, and they did the depressed woman.
Yes.
And it's Monet Exchange, I believe, being it's either Monet or Bob.
It's amazing.
And she's just like, oh, and then that leg up in the air. Like, yeah.
It was that I laughed so hard when I watched that. Like, it was genuinely one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
All the feels, right? All the feels.
Oh, boy. Just thinking about it again, I'm like, I got to go back and watch that again.
Oh, God. So what's new with you, girl? How's the COVID situation? Because our dear listeners want to know. I don't know if they do, but I just assume they do.
I think we said it on the last call, right? Or last thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, how's it progressing? It's been a week.
Oh, it's progressing. For anybody that's concerned, which I don't think there's any of you, but if anybody's concerned, my husband's okay. He's got the mild symptoms now. It's not as much coughing and whatnot.
Good.
I still don't have it, according to the test, which is awesome. And I have been organizing way too much of my home because I haven't been able to do the things that I normally do on my evenings. So there's been a lot of organization going on.
Well, dear listeners, if you can now order the third round of home tests from the federal government, and I think they give you like 8 now.
They do give you 8
because they're trying to give that shit away because it's cheap to make.
The flyover states aren't getting them, so they have a backlog. Probably
it's probably true. Well, there's also only 5 people in the flyover states.
Oh, that's true. Gosh, they're so loud. They're so loud.
They're so loud. They are. It's almost like the United States should be a parliamentary democracy. You know what, dear listeners, please don't come for me. I said what I said. Anyway.
You said what needed to be said.
So, you know what I've started doing, girl?
No.
Some light gardening.
Oh, no. Look at you, little British queen. Yes.
Very light gardening, girl. I bought 2 white buckets that I drilled holes in the bottom of, filled them up with some dirt, threw some peppers in one, and threw a tomato in the other.
That is so southern of you. Oh, my God.
It works. What are you talking about? It works so well. You know what's also southern, dear listeners? Tomatoes require a lot of calcium in the soil. I don't know if you know this. But the old southern trick is you take a Tums, you throw it in the bottom of you put the bottom, and you put the plant on top of it.
It works.
Or dry milk. Dry milk's a little more expensive, but
yes. Well, yeah. I mean, per ounce. Yes, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Powder.
Do you garden,
milk.
Girl?
Do I what?
Do you garden?
With my allergies, no.
Well, how does your garden grow? Not well.
I mean, the garden grows fine, but I'm not the one that's growing it. That's my husband that does that. It's not me, girl. It's not me.
What does he grow?
He's into succulents.
Oh. Well, those are kind of hypoallergenic. Those don't really do anything.
No, I know, but I mean that's what he's into. He's into succulent. But remember, it's not the gardening that I'm allergic to. It's stepping outside of the house that I'm allergic to. So, it doesn't matter where the succulents are. It's still all coming for me, honey. It's still coming for me.
It's true.
But no,
girl, did you just lock yourself in the pool room while you were, during this COVID crisis?
I just been in the sewing room, like it's a panic room of sorts, which I mean it is normally a panic room of sorts.
All right, Jodie Foster.
But I would say more that
I hate that movie so much.
I converted my anxiety room into a panic room. So
I thought Kristen Stewart was a boy for the longest time. Actually.
I did too. Yeah.
I mean,
not
that there's anything wrong with that.
No, I just think it's interesting though, right? Like when you think about, not to like project onto people, but like it is
go
interesting.
Ahead, girl.
But when like some of these actors are younger, right? And I guess maybe because we are seeing them acting and everything, there are little things that they can't act around. And then later in time, when the inevitable starts happening, it's kind of like, we knew that, right? So when
Kristen Stewart, I'm not the biggest Kristen Stewart fan. I think she's kind of boring.
I've heard Diana was really cool.
Well, my husband loves the one where she's the personal shopper in France. It's a weird indie film that she keeps seeing like the ghost of her either brother or dead boyfriend and ends up having sex with him.
Is that the one with Julia Binoche is in it too?
I mean, it's French, so probably.
I mean, yeah, she's in most of their movies, so
just Frances.
And she's like their Meryl Streep at this point. Yeah. Well, no, she's not as old as Meryl Streep. She's like their Julia Roberts. I guess that would be her contemporary.
Wait, you aren't thinking about the one that takes place in America, are you? Where she's the killer woman?
No, I just remember there was some movie that had her and Juliette Binoche in it, and it appeared to be a French, like a European movie. It didn't.
Hold on, Personal Shopper 2016 film. No.
Okay.
No, it's her and Sigrid Buzaz and some other people. No, you're thinking of. Listen at this, Kristen Stewart movies. Let's look here. Let's look at the list of.
I guess you could have just put in Kristen Stewart and Juliette Binoche.
No, I don't see them in a movie together.
Maybe I'm getting her confused with another French actress. I didn't know there were other French actresses, but maybe I'm getting her confused.
Juliette Binoche, there she is. Stewart, maybe Juliette Binoche. Clouds of Sils Maria.
That sounds.
I love Chocolat. Did you know that?
Oh, that movie's so good. Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
It's my favorite Johnny Depp movie. Like that's the one where I literally was like, why can't you do more movies like this, Johnny Depp? Remember, you can act. Like, come on, just do more movies like this.
Mm-hmm.
But then he had to go and do Pirates.
Well, he was good in the first one. I will defend him in the first one. I will not defend anything else.
The first one. I think it's amazing that people are still just like, ooh, look at them glasses. I just think it's funny that people are just like, we want him for more. I'm like, I like pirate movies, but I don't really. It doesn't have to be him. Like, it could just move on.
Yeah,
move
it's
on,
true. It's absolutely true.
Turn it into an anthology of sorts. Like, let's go on a lady captain now or something like that. Something fun.
Speaking of a lady captain that's something fun. Did you know that we have a Patreon?
I thought you were going to say that, and then I was like, no, that's not a good transition.
Let's see if we have any more supporters.
That's not a good transition at all, actually.
It's really not. You know what?
Terrible segue.
We've got a third supporter.
You shut your mouth.
I need to, you know what? Hold on here. I need to find out what this person's name is.
You shut your mouth.
Well, log in, damn it. I said log in.
Oh my God. What's happening right now?
I know. What is happening?
What is life?
What is life? What is...
I can't. People are enjoying listening to us. This is too much. I don't understand.
I know. Elizabeth Johnson. Oh my God. It's Elizabeth Johnson.
That's that lady that I told you about.
Yes.
The one that sent us the Instagram message.
Elizabeth, thank you so much.
Elizabeth, you have no idea how much this means. Thank you so much.
It means so much to us.
Like those kind words, and then she became a patron. Like, remember, Elizabeth, if you're listening to this, remember to send us.
Yes.
Right?
Send us. I will send you an email. If you will respond to it and let me know the one episode of something you really liked, and we will get to that. I should probably see if I've ever gotten any emails from
I know from the other two.
Yeah, hold on. Let's see if I ever did. Next. Yeah, I know. Anyway, dear listeners, we have a Patreon. Yes, me. Oh my God, fucking phone. I said yes, Googles. That's that. God, they've made it even more complicated to get into.
They just trying to protect that pussy, girl.
They're trying to protect that pussy. Mm-hmm. Anyway, dear listeners, nobody responded yet.
They need to be sending us some stuff so we can do some lives, some drags episodes.
True. Oh, let me make sure this is the one I sent it.
I bet Elizabeth will send it to us. I bet she'll send us her episode.
That's extra. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yes. So Elizabeth, if you're listening right now, which I don't know if you listened to this one or not. Let me find what did I do with Maim.
Well, we haven't released it yet, so when we release it.
Well, that's true. Elizabeth, if you listen to this one or you listen to You Slay Me, send us an episode of a TV show you like, and I'll reach out to you this week, and we'll get all situated.
We're gonna get you on the page, girl.
But speaking of that, we have another podcast, Maim. Did you know that?
I had heard rumor of that.
I know, we just don't do it enough. It is called Mims and Maim, You Slay Me.
Slay the house down boots.
Slay the house down boots. Pow. And it is a Slay the Boots, the House Down. It is a Murder, She Wrote podcast.
Slay the cobbler. Slay the lace maker.
Slay the cobbler, girl. We so old school. We slay the cobbler. Oh God Almighty! Oh, I am spent. All this traveling. Although I will say the flight to Philly has been a lot shorter than I've ever experienced it. Both times it was only 45 minutes in the air.
To Philadelphia?
To Philadelphia.
From Raleigh?
From Raleigh. Like before, I've taken this flight before and it was like an hour 15. Yeah, 45 minutes in the air. 45 minutes.
Are planes going faster or something? Like
it's probably the wind or the air or the something. I don't know. Girl, I'm not a pilot.
I know. I forgot. You're not a physics person. You're a chemistry person. Yeah, I forgot.
I'm not. That's science.
Sorry, Mr. Stravinsky.
Oh my God, I hated that class so much. And that wasn't his name.
What was it? It was
Stremecki.
Stremecki.
Yeah.
What's Stravinsky? Oh, that's a classical person. I'm sorry. It was literally over 25 years ago at this point.
Bro, you don't remember all your teachers' names?
All of them?
All of them. Every last one of them except for college. I don't remember all college. I remember all of high school, elementary, middle school. I don't remember a single one of college.
I remember some of the high school teachers. I don't remember all of the high school teachers. I have put that so far in the back of my consciousness now that I don't even remember so much of those things at this point.
I remember the English teacher. I remember me being in a scandalo in English class.
A scandalo.
When I let somebody who sat beside of me copy some questions from homework from English. The woman never took up English homework. The one day she decides to during the Scarlet Letter, and was like, "You let them plagiarize from you." To which I said, "You ain't ever picked this stuff up before, so what made me think that you were going to do it now? So what does it even matter? I thought it was basically used as notes." Well, I just can't believe this. We're going to go for in-school suspension. Then I went to the cheerleading coach who was apparently in charge of that. And I was like, "She's going to go for in-school suspension." She's like, "No, I don't even. Are you sorry?" I said, "No, not particularly. She ain't ever done this before, so what's it matter?" Apparently by the end of it, there were 40 kids that had copied word for word what I wrote. And I don't know why I'm not even that good at English.
I know. I was just thinking that too. That was the one subject I was better than you at.
Yeah, why
did they copy you?
I don't care. The thing is, I didn't.
That was never your jam. Like
no.
You didn't even want to. You didn't even like reading. Like you hated it.
I mean, there are a few books I liked reading.
Well, of course. I mean,
like again, The Bluest Eye, Toni Morrison.
I mean,
I like stuff that makes me feel something. A lot of that shit. A lot of that trash we read in English class didn't make me feel anything but heartburn.
That's true. Ooh, that's true, girl. I mean, I just like books that, transport me to someplace else. That's all I want in life. It's just
I have a book for you.
I love those.
I have, and dear listeners, this is a book that we'll get into the episode. This is a book we'll get into the episode. The House in the Cerulean Sea.
Okay.
It's about a adoption house, not halfway house, but like a foster home. That's what it is, for monsters.
Oh.
And the government representative that goes out there to visit them.
That sounds like perfection.
And
to me.
it's like young adult-ish. It's somewhere in between.
Okay. Is it? Wait, hold on. You said my trigger word. So if it's a YA, have you finished the book?
Yeah.
Okay. If it's a YA, can you please give me the rundown? How much romance is in it?
A little.
Okay, I can deal with that.
It's not Goo Goo Eyes or anything like that.
When people recommend YA novels to me because they know I love fantasy stuff, I'm always like, oh my God, that sounds great. Oh, that sounds great. And then I'll start and literally like within 100 pages, I'm sitting there like, this is just a romance. Like this, somebody recommended this amazing book to me all about like witches, right? So I was into it a lot. And the first few chapters, it was good. And then it started turning into a lesbian romance novel. And I was so mad. I was so mad.
I mean, there is a romance in there. Like there definitely is a romance.
No, this was like I can handle a little romance. Like this
there's a little. It's
so
more about the kids than the romance.
I have a book for you, actually.
Okay.
I think you will enjoy also.
Okay.
So I can't remember the name of the author, but it's called The Postmortal.
Okay.
And it is about it's a kind of dystopian, but a futuristic portrayal of when they find the cure for death.
Okay.
And all of the ramifications of that. It's wacky.
Okay.
Like it's like a humorous book. Like I know it sounds a little deep, but like it's actually it's dark humor.
It's not Neil Gaiman, is it?
No.
Okay. I know you love him. I find him so dry and so boring.
I didn't say that he wasn't dry. I don't find him boring, but he is dry.
Like Terry Pratchett, I find fun. Neil Gaiman, you could tell in Good Omens who wrote what, and I was just like, get me back to the Terry Pratchett stuff. Get me away from Neil Gaiman.
I wasn't that familiar with Neil Gaiman, to be very honest with you, until they worked together, and then I was like, oh, let me give him a try. Oh, I like it, but it's different. It's different.
Exactly. Like I have a copy of American Gods over there that I think about every once in a while, but then I just see how thick it is in that small ass type, and I'm like, there is no way. Girl, we have been prattling on for 19 minutes. How about we get this episode?
I like that. Yes.
Hold on. What is this? This is page one. That's not the one I want. Wait, what is this? Lord. This is the one I want. This is season 3. Episode. Smaller font, y'all.
That's not a number.
Episode for the season 3, episode 4. Getting married and eating dirt.
I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. And that's Marjorie. Just so you will know, and your children will someday know, is the night the light went out in Georgia. The lights went out. The lights went out. The lights went out. The lights went out. And that is the night. The lights went out in Georgia.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Well, now you do.
Yes.
So we're at Sugar Baker's, and Charlene is wondering if Elvis is still alive. Dear listeners, this was a thing.
It was.
It was a thing. And, you know, this is a constant thing with people that are dead. It happened with Biggie. It happened with Tupac.
This is not like that, though. Remember very clearly about this time period. There were numerous Inside Edition episodes. There were people showed up on things with pictures and videos. He was like Bigfoot back then.
So I know for a fact that Tupac's dead. Do you know how I know? Did I ever tell you the story?
No, you did not.
So as I was driving home from Vegas one time, driving to the airport in Vegas from the casino, the guy in the cab driver was like, I don't know why people think Tupac's still alive. I saw him get shot right there, and it was Tupac, and he is dead. I can promise you. I saw his body fall.
Whoa.
I'm like,
whoa.
Okay. All right.
That's wild.
Like, as we were passing by the spot, it happened.
That's wild.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I have this thought that he's dead.
I mean, I thought that's how Elvis, but he died on the toilet, didn't he? Isn't that what they always said?
Yeah, that's what they said.
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't around then. We were very young at that point in time. But you know, did he die in the 70s or the 80s?
80s, I believe. Early 80s, I think. Late 70s. I don't know.
I think late 70s. I don't think he made it.
He was definitely dead by the time.
I don't think he made. Yeah, because like Priscilla Presley was doing Naked Gun in like the mid 80s, and Elvis was definitely not around then.
Speaking of Elvis, y'all, there's the new Baz Lerman movie that looks like a whole big old pile of trash.
Oh, it's gonna be a hot mess. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Although it got the Presley seal of approval. They just recently said that all three, like the daughter, the grandmother, and the granddaughter, they gave like their seal of approval.
I asked my husband if he wanted to see it. He's like, "Did you say Baz Luhrmann?" I'm like, "Yes." "Did you say Elvis?" "Yes." "Did you say Tom Hanks?" I'm like, I in fact did. It's like, no. I'll see. I will see what the reviews are before I make my decision.
Y'all better leave Tom Hanks alone.
Just Tom Hanks in that role.
I love it. I love when he picks weird stuff to do. Like, I love when it's the most it makes no sense at all, you know? Just like when he did that Coen Brothers movie and he played that like grifter or whatever. I was just like, yes, Tom Hanks, like, do some weird stuff, please. Like, I love it.
My favorite movie I think he's been in is Catch Me If You Can. And his inconsistent Boston accent.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you can see it, but when you shift a certain way, you have this adorable little cloud of Irene that shows up on the camera. So it looks just like she's floating in space. It is so adorable.
There she is.
I'm telling you right now. I was like, what is, oh my gosh, the dog is floating in space. This is the best thing ever.
Oh, God. So Julia says, sure. They're probably on a houseboat in Brazil with Judge Carter and a Russian space dog.
Yes. What? Russian space dog?
Yeah. And dear listeners, if you don't know, Russia sent a couple of dogs into space. There's a very famous one that they've got they did a movie about him.
Yeah. They actually have a statue of him in Russia too. Yep. Big deal. Big dog, big shoes to fill.
Not as sweet of a story as the one in Japan with the master who was killed and he went to the train station every day after that. And anyway, so
or Air Bud.
So Suzanne and Maryjo show up.
Beethoven.
You know, if we rewatch the end of Beethoven, And obviously, that doctor that was trying to do stuff on him, he had so many shots of anesthesia in him, he'd be dead. There is somebody at the end of Beethoven who should be dead.
Thanks for your chemistry analysis.
That movie was followed by Howard the Duck, which, if you have never watched, dear listeners, is George Lucas on so much cocaine.
I don't care what any person says. That movie is amazing. I literally, like, when people talk about it now, when people use it as a joke now, I'm like, great, joke about it all you want. At the time, a lot of us thought that movie was insanely cool because it
Leah
was
Thompson.
Weird. Yep.
And a really young Tim Robbins.
Yep. Oh, man.
God.
Where is Tim Robbins? Holy crap.
I don't know. And that dude the dude who plays the bad guy went to jail or pled no contest to
that one dude that was like the weird guy, the bad guy in every movie. Yeah.
Yeah. He it turns out he liked 14-year-old boys.
Ferris Bueller's principal.
Is that him? I think that is him, yeah. Anyway, Suzanne thinks all men with ponytails should be arrested.
Yes. That's an actual quote from the show.
And Maryjo says something like, I wish every time... she asks what they're talking about. She just says, I wish that every time I came in here it didn't feel like the Twilight Zone or something like that. Whatever is the TV... What's his name? Anyway, moving on.
Rod Serling.
There you go. See, why couldn't you have said that like 2 minutes ago rather than let me prattle on?
Because I was looking to see what happened to Tim Robbins.
What happened to Tim Robbins?
He got old. Not sure. He committed the crime of getting old.
Who was the one who's not married to Susan Sarandon?
No, that was Tim Robbins.
Okay. Well, he was an antitrust.
I'm just trying to see, like, it says when you said his name.
Wasn't he in Shawshank Redemption?
No, Tim Robbins he's like won like multiple, he's won an Oscar, he's done the whole thing. But when you said his name, I was like, like sometimes there are certain actors, especially like these kind of like everyman actors that you kind of forget. But when you said it, I was like, wait, I can't recall seeing that man in a long time in a movie. So I was just like, it just made me kind of think, how has he not showed up on a streaming show at this point? Because,
That's very fair. That's very fair.
It's time. It's time, Tim Robbins. Just come on.
So Bernice is coming and she has a surprise, girl.
What kind of surprise, Bernice?
Well, we'll find out in a moment.
Oh.
Well, and Julia's reading the paper.
Okay.
And she found an article about Southerners eating dirt in the Times.
Okay.
The New York Times.
I mean, technically, even though, sure, that sounds terrible, but that's actually not a unheard of practice.
It's a
mineral thing, right? It's like a mineral.
Okay, here's the thing. It's a racism because a very specific group of poor black people in Alabama, Mississippi that do this.
Okay.
This story pops up. My husband looked while we were watching this. Like every 2 years, Vox just did one in 2019 about the same thing. And it's old white people telling the paper about these old black people that do this.
Oh my gosh.
So Julia has a right to be pissed and a little annoyed, but she's not pissed and annoyed for the right thing.
Well, they're not gonna get into that part of it.
So she calls the paper, and like they say she'll call them. They say they'll call her back, right?
Yes, they're probably not going to.
So, girl, I called the News and Observer yesterday, or sent an email to them. This is the story I told you about. You may or may not know that Clay Aiken ran for the Democratic seat in one of the House seats around us, right?
Yes.
He lost.
So that's shocking.
It was for David Price. He's currently held by David Price, and like he's retiring. So anyway, And David Price just got COVID. So David Price got COVID was the first part, very minor symptoms. Then it went on to talk about the election. Okay. And I was scrolling through, reading, and it said, American Idol winner Clay Aiken. So I was like, I think Ruben may have something to say about that.
Ruben? What? How did they get that wrong?
I don't know. So I sent it an email. I sent the reporter an email. I was like, hey, just to let you know, Clay Aiken did not win American Idol. He was the runner-up. Girl, rather than change it to contestant in the article, they changed it to say runner-up, which reads so much worse because he was a runner-up in now 2 elections, 3 if you count American Idol, and I just felt like 100% that bitch. I'm just saying. Oh my God. Because I couldn't let it go because I did not want Clay Aiken to have nice things.
Clay Aiken's going to show up at your house.
As long as he sings Invisible, I'm fine with it.
The first time Mims does another live show in that audience, not
Girl,
laughing.
He ain't coming to Flex.
How you know he ain't been to Flex already?
I believe he was a Legends boy.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah. Carrot Top used to go to Legends.
I can see that too.
People used to run away from him.
Wouldn't you? I mean, good gracious. It's like Ronald McDonald on steroids.
Well, Suzanne has PMS. And this was pre-steroids, by the way. Suzanne has PMS.
It's like a heroin victim.
Oh. So...
I've never seen PMS on a sitcom portrayed like this before.
Me either.
Suzanne's just sitting around complaining the whole time.
Yes. And she just says, well, they're upset in the North because our women are just more attractive.
Oh, that's why they keep talking about us eating dirt.
And Maryjo's like, that's ignorant.
Which it is. Yeah, it is.
To which Suzanne says, well, think of all of the past Mississippis.
I love how she says Mississippi so much.
Have you ever seen an unattractive one?
Mississippi.
And like they all have this look on their face that's somewhere between they're thinking about it and like, shut up, Suzanne. Mm-hmm. I love the face acting on everybody. And Julia's like, well, we'll just take her out back and tie her up and not have to deal with her.
Yeah, I think I mean, I will say now, this is just, we always have to do our little M-I-double-S-I. What is it? No, it was M-I, a crooked letter, I, a crooked letter, I, humpback. That, dear listeners, is how we learned how to spell Mississippi back when we were in school. But I do think it was interesting, right? This is, okay, so in our little analysis that we do, this is that point at which I get bristly again, right? Because the level... Oh, shut up. I mean, the level of the second part of what Suzanne said, right? Like, calling the women dogs like repeatedly. Mm-hmm. I was kind of sitting there like, that's she could have used, like she said homely at one point, which was, whatever. But like, who wrote this episode and why did you have to keep referring to them repeatedly as dogs? Like, good gracious, y'all. Like, that's a lot.
Well, Bernice is here.
Hey, Bernice.
Charlene says you're here. Bernice says sometimes.
Yes. Oh, man. Her delivery in this particular episode was chef's kiss. Oh, goodness.
And then Charlene says, don't mind Suzanne. She's got PMS. And Bernice said, well, I have a cure for that. It's hysterectomy.
It's true.
Well, and Bernice has 2 surprises for them.
Not 2. Oh, Lord. That's
Number 1, she's getting married. Number 3, they're going to be the Flower Girls.
What happened to 2?
Just let go.
Oh, okay.
So they all are like, well, Bernice, who are you marrying? And Anthony's like, well, some people think he's dead. And Charlene just goes, is it Elvis?
Yes. This is the season of Elvis references.
Anthony's like, that's a good guess, Charlene. However, he's on this tape.
Yes. Oh, videotape. Ah!
And the Benson and Hedges guys come up doing a warranty commercial.
Wait, you mean the Bartles and James guys?
Bartles and James. I've been saying Bartles and James people.
Benson and Hedges.
Benson and Hedges and cigarettes.
The only time I ever think of the word Benson and Hedges, this is a true story. The only time I think of the words Benson and Hedges is the episode where Deana in Absolutely Fabulous goes into the hospital and the nurse asks Patsy what types of cigarettes she wants, and she says, "We have Benson and Hedges and Marlboro," and Patsy says, "I'll take both." That's the only time I ever know that with those two words. It was when you said it, I'm like, when you said it earlier, I was like,
yeah.
I didn't question it because I was thinking about that other thing, and then I was like, wait, that's not right though. That's not the right.
So interesting thing about Bartles and James and why they aren't really made anymore.
Yes.
Wine tax. So it used to they used to be a fruit wine.
Okay.
And then the wine tax, they altered the wine tax in America for import.
Uh-huh.
And malt liquor became cheaper, so Bartles and James sort of went away.
Oh.
Did you ever drink a wine cooler?
The only Bartles and James I ever had, I want to say I think I was a preteen. Mm-hmm. But I tried one of my father's. He loved grape. My dad loved grape everything, but he especially loved the Bartles and James grape. And I remember that I was really upset because it didn't taste like grape soda. I thought it was going to taste like grape soda, and it didn't taste like grape soda. So I was just kind of like, I'll never drink this stuff ever again because it doesn't taste like I thought it was going to taste.
Uh-huh.
What about you? Which one would you? Your family was kind of loose with the beer thing.
Well, girl, so I will say the one time I ever drank and drove.
The one time?
I've only ever drank and drove one time.
Wow. Okay.
No, physically with a bottle in hand.
Oh, okay.
Well, it wasn't a bottle in hand. I poured Bartles and James into a big red cup and drank it as I was driving around Statesville.
Oh, Lord.
I think it was fruit punch. It was good.
That product was clearly made for underage drinkers. Clearly.
Yes, and white women.
White women.
White women.
White women.
Oh God, it was good. Like it was nothing but sugar and
malt or
no, it was wine.
It wasn't malt
wine
then.
It was white wine. But you could even tell when the tax changed because that's when Zima started becoming popular. And Zima's a malt beverage.
Zima. I mean, technically, Zima was the future, right? Because that's white malt beverages now. That's
so
the thing.
Gross.
Ugh. That's what
do you like the seltzers, the hard seltzers?
No.
I found one I like. And it's bougie. There's one North Carolina brand that makes a prickly pear seltzer.
I just don't. I don't personally get the phenomenon. I don't get it because it's
phenomenon.
It's just. I've tried it like 4 or 5 times. Yeah. Different brands. And I'm like, I don't. It's slightly flavored alcoholic water. I don't understand. Why is everybody losing their crap over this? Like, it's not. There's nothing.
Because gays and it's calorieless.
Oh, stupid. Whatever.
Just drink vodka.
Like literally, just
it'll work faster.
Yeah,
it's got in fewer calories.
I don't get. I mean, I never get. I mean, that's right because I just love cocktails, right? But I just, if I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna drink. Like I'm gonna have something fancy.
You know what I've been craving?
Too much.
I've been craving like a crazy ass Mai Tai with all the fruit coming out the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want a Bloody Mary.
I love a good Bloody Mary.
Oh, when you come back then, this is not shameless plug. The bar that I do karaoke at, Carlos makes basically like a signature Bloody Mary.
Okay.
I have never tasted something so good in my life.
Do you want to know what the trick to a home Bloody Mary is?
Sure.
Why
wouldn't I want to know that?
I learned this from bartender. Fire sauce from Taco Bell.
Shut up.
It's got just enough sweet and just enough fire.
Oh
Throw it
my
in there with the tomato sauce and stuff. I did not
yes.
believe this, and he did that. He's like, just let me put a packet in there. I'm like, all right.
Oh, now I want to
like,
go get
holy shit, this changed it for the better.
I need a Mexican pizza now.
Girl, my DoorDash did not have them listed today.
Oh, they've run out. Literally. Because I was going to get another one yesterday, and every location was like, sorry, we don't have them right now. I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted.
Exactly, because there's you need to try the bean one.
No, that's what I was going to do yesterday. I was literally like, I left Walmart, and I was really close to a Taco Bell, but they didn't have it.
So Bernice is marrying the silent one. His name is Ev. And Bernice has some costumes for them, for the girls for the wedding, since they're going to be the flower girls.
Bernice, what do you mean by costumes?
We're going to get to that in a minute. So when asked how they met, Bernice was having a moment when she forgot who she was. She asked him who she was.
Mm-hmm.
They went on an elderly hayride.
Yes.
And he asked, and they got engaged.
Wow. It feels like they're going too fast, those kids.
And Charlene asks if they have incredible chemistry. And Bernice says, yeah, neither one of us are really into sex. You know, after 40 years of being on bottom and telling somebody how great they are, it gets really boring.
Girl. That screamed at me. That screamed at me.
What?
No,
I hope that you and your current man are like that.
No, I'm just saying, like, that. I just love that line. And just
I was about to say, because if you and your current man are like that,
I bet women. When she said that on the screen, I bet women all around America were just like,
dear listeners, if you are, Irene's floating behind me again.
She is.
If you are ever like that, where, you know, sex is boring, figure something out.
Pegging.
Just, I've got something that's gonna, you know, be controversial yet brave. Open your marriage up.
Controversial yet free. Oh boy, we're gonna get letters about that one. There goes the Patreon.
It's not for everybody. Look, y'all, it's not for everybody.
There goes the Patreon.
But if you're the kind of couple that can handle it, or, you know, get into toys or something, you know, there's ways to spice things up.
It's funny how there's a lot of people who, like, they don't even that alone, that also to them is almost like scandalous, like toys. Like, what?
Just lick your partner's foot, see what happens. I mean, you know, you can do some stuff.
Be spontaneous. Get some Oreos. You don't know. Have a party.
Like there you go.
Yeah.
Like, go to a hotel, pretend like you're single. One of you be at the bar, and the other one try to get with you. You can say no at the end of the night and buy them another hotel room.
I would love to do something like that and be just a complete monster. That makes me so excited.
Or have another friend offer you $1 million to sleep with them.
Robert Redford, where's my Robert Redford lookalike? I need a Robert Redford lookalike.
That's some old dick.
I'm just gonna walk in and be like, you know what's so funny? I remember it was that movie, man. That's one of those movies that I feel like in current life and everything, I feel almost like that's a movie that should really be revisited now, right? Because I mean, think about like how even like heterosexual relationships have really kind of a lot of, you know, there's been a lot of interesting evolutions of it. It's kind of like going back and revisiting that at this point.
I mean, I always just had the feeling of course you're going to sleep with them. What's the big deal? Who cares? Get the $1 million, move on with your life.
Yeah, but it's just interesting.
I think it's built on a broken premise. I think the movie doesn't work because it was a bad movie, first of all. Like,
oh yeah, no, it's a terrible movie.
But it's just like I think most people could just do, oh, the $1 million, this is very transactional. Let's do this. Let's move on.
Let's do it. Right?
Let's do it.
Let's hit it and quit it.
Can we go to the bathroom and do this?
Let's do this.
We can. Do you want to do it right here on this bar stool?
We are thinking with gay brains right now.
We're both I'm wearing Demi Moore in a skirt. Let me just hike it up real quick. We'd be done in about 5 minutes. I promise you. This is not going to be romantical. No. Oh, you want it to be romantical? It better be $5 million.
5 million. Let's make it 10 million. I'll spend the whole evening with you.
You know what? 20 million. I'll spend a week with you. Let's do this. You know him. I don't care about him. Who was the man? Was it Woody Harrelson? Who was for 50,000. We could look 50,000. I'll leave him. There's.
But remember, that was when Woody Harrelson was considered sexy, though. Remember, there was that point in the late 80s.
I think Woody Harrelson's still attractive. But have you seen him act? Anyway.
Oh, he was good in
Zombieland.
I loved him in Zombieland.
I loved it.
Sequel. What?
I never saw the sequel.
No, has the sequel come out yet?
The sequel's been out for a long time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think.
Did it come out during COVID time?
Hold on. Zombieland. I thought it's been out for Zombieland sequel. Zombieland Double Tap came out in 2019.
That's probably during COVID stuff.
Yeah. Anyway. So it's a little bit later at Sugar Baker's.
Yes.
And the girls are trying on their dresses.
I'm not mad at them, honestly, personally. I would do some slight alterations to it, but the base of it is lovely.
Julia's like, the tailor's like, do you want this higher or lower? And Julia's like, at this point, doesn't even really matter. And Suzanne says, I can't believe you agreed to this.
Looking like a show pony.
I'm not going to do this. I have the PMS.
Her sitting there with that dress draped over her.
And she's like, well, can I just have it draped over me? Oh, God. Then Anthony comes in is it brown or red?
It's like a burgundy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So brown, red. Tux.
Well, you asked specifically, so I was trying to give you a specific.
No, well, I'm a little colorblind, so I was making sure that was.
You were asking.
That's why I was asking. I was just making sure I was seeing it right.
But you were you were close. You were close.
I was. I had brown or red. I knew it was somewhere in between.
Lord. It might even be like more of a maroon, actually, now that I think about it.
Such a maroon. Anthony.
How old are we?
Anthony says, Julia, I hope you don't mind. You look like Snow White. And Julia says, Anthony, I hope you don't mind. You will look like a pimp.
You will look like a pimp. I don't think she looked like Snow White at all.
I don't think so either. She looked like a cheap Madonna knockoff.
Like, if I had to go by any of the Disney princesses at that point, it would have been Sleeping Beauty, because she's the one that wears the pink. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. We're being nitpicky.
So Ev walks in.
Hey, Ev.
And he says, very nice to everybody he meets. Very nice, very nice, very nice.
Very nice, very nice, very nice.
Bernice takes the newspaper from Suzanne, hands it to Ev, and says, you go over there and read that while we try on these dresses. And Ev reads the dirt story and gets very upset by it.
Very upset. He gives more than 2 words, which is a sign. That's a sign that he's upset.
Well, the newspaper is calling.
Ooh.
And the secretary is on the other line.
Oh, wow.
So Julia goes off on her.
Yes, she does.
Goes on and on and on about, and we've even eaten a little crow, but we have never eaten dirt.
Which isn't technically true. Technically.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
So Bernice goes upstairs to take her wedding dress off. She switched back and forth.
I love this line. Charlene's like, do you need some help?
Yeah, and she's like, no, I'd prefer for you not to see my body. Ev agrees with Julia, but he's like, in the future, you need to keep your arguments short.
What? Julia Sugarbaker? He's short in delivery? What?
Well, Charlene asks Ev if he's excited about the big day while Bernice is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Ev didn't know he was getting engaged.
Oh, that's awkward. That's very awkward. We're literally all dressed for a wedding right now.
Yep. Well, we scoot ahead, and Ev has left, and Charlene has to take Bernice home.
Yeah.
Well, Bert comes in. Bert's the other half of Bert and Ev. He's the one who actually talks.
Yes.
Most time. And apparently Ev asks every woman he meets to marry him. Ev apologizes to Bernice. And Bernice is like, it's okay. You're nuts. I'm just upset I can't show the girls off.
That's so true.
And Charlene's like, well, we'll go to dinner in these dresses.
Gosh.
And you can show us off. And Bert said, well, that's my nice. We'll pay for it. They asked what kind of food they like. And Julia says, out of town food.
I thought that was a good line.
I did too. The reporter calls back. It's the actual reporter this time. And Julia has just one word or two words for him.
What
Eat dirt.
Wow.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Full circle.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
On track.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Showing those Yankees where it's at.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Maim, did you find yourself a Miss Georgia World?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Okay.
My Miss Georgia World this week is none other than Bernice Clifton in her wedding dress. She looked a picture of elegance.
So I, too, have Bernice Clifton, but I have that weird-ass dress she came in that was like pastel patchwork with a weird frill around its neck. I thought it was so wackadoodle and so good. Like, there's Irene in bed.
I wonder if they were trying to do almost like a fancy Southern couture, right?
Probably.
But in the 80s, because couture in the 80s was weird.
Like Belk, modern period, Southern period, woman period.
Right, exactly. Like, because I too, when she first came in, I was like, what is she wearing? Right? What is happening now?
Maim,
yes?
Maim, I've got a question for you. Did you enjoy this episode?
I did. Any episode with Bernice Clifton, I'm going to enjoy, like, without question. So
I too enjoyed this. My husband enjoyed this. Like,
good. He didn't walk out this time.
We've been going through some slogs of episodes recently. And, like, it was nice to finally have a good episode back, right? Like,
it's just been
EP
a really
Phone
strange...
Home was cute.
No,
but
I mean,
this
cute.
was actually funny. I laughed out loud a couple of times at this one.
I did think this was like once again, Bernice's deliveries this time were so spot on. Like, her timing, her everything, it was just perfect. I love it so much.
Well, Maim, we've been prattling on for a bit.
Have we?
Why don't you tell the dear listeners where they can find you?
Oh, totes. Hello, dear listeners. This is your favorite relation, Auntie Maim. I'm happy to...
I like it better when you say it like that.
Okay. Okay. I'm located on your social medias at...
I don't like it when you say it like that.
Auntie.maim, that's MAIM. You can find me on the Twitter at Maim Ministry. If you would care to find me in person, on different parts of South Florida I perform. So I perform at the Villain Theater. It's an improvised comedy theater located in Miami. You can find out more information on them at villaintheater.com. I perform at the wonderful beachside bar Kill Your Idol in Miami Beach every Thursday night for amazing colossal karaoke. It's a wonderful little shindig that involves a lot of cabaret style performances mixed in with the karaoke's of the various people that come in. And lastly, you can find me at Lit Bar in Fort Lauderdale, also known as Wilton Manors. That's where I have a stand-up show. That's where I am going to be. Actually, I haven't even told Mims this. I'm going to start hosting a monthly trivia night. So that's going to be fun. But that's lit at Wilton Manors. So that's where you can find me at my various places of employment when I'm not doing my day job. How about you, my sweet old friend, Mims?
Hi, I'm the Divine Miss Mims. You can find me on Twitter at Divine Miss Mims. You can find this podcast on Twitter at Baking Sugar Pod. Hey, Maim, we have a Patreon.
What?
Thank you, Elizabeth Johnson, for signing up to be a patron.
Liz.
It is at Mims and patreon.com Mims and Maim. Hey, Maim, we have another podcasting.
What?
It's called You Slay Me Pod. It's a Murder She Wrote podcast. You can find it wherever you get your podcast today, like Kmart or Pennies. Maim.
Pennies.
Maim,
Yes?
do you have anything else to add?
Good night, Maim.
Bye, y'all.